What happened when Quiana and Demodick attempt to find love after lockup? And what's the full story? Well, to answer this and many more questions, allow me to take us back to the beginning. Hello and welcome to Lawd Lukan. As you can see, I'm off on holiday this week, so I put together a delightful super mix of the best and worst of the best and worst couples. And today we have Quiana and Demodick. As always, big loves to those who've subscribed, you beautiful people, and a room here at the holiday home to the lords and ladies of the Lukan Manor. So I'm gonna put my little feet in the water, and while I do, please enjoy and thank you for watching. Another set of faces is Quiana and Demodick. Quiana is an educated woman who's been brought up in a conservative household.
Really focus on school, then go to work.
And Demodick, on the other hand,
Demodrick has 6 kids with 3 different women.
3 of those 6 kids are with one particular woman, and it would appear there is a considerable resentment between the two ladies. Quiana over here is giving her the old Voldemort treatment.
I don't really like to say her name.
Yeah, me neither. It's like wetv or something. I don't know. Also, don't you love it when you're having a nice relaxing haircut or the hairdresser's mate come in rambling about somebody else's bullshit in your ear?
And being respectful even when I'm disrespected. Posting on social media.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, I'll just sit here pretending that I'm not having to pay to listen to this shit. Oh, look there, this guy's got a lovely little pink phone. And this guy, he's having a lovely time. But a lovely time is ended when hair Brady guy in the background suggests she might not be alone when she picks him up.
Y'all gonna meet at the bus station together picking him up.
I bet we don't.
But hey, wait there a second, Miss Brady hair guy. Not so fast. Just because he's got his old ex thing going on, that doesn't mean she's got anything to worry about, does it?
Demodrick cheated on me with her twice in the beginning of our relationship because he was going through a lot.
Mostly her vagina, by the sounds of it. And by the sight of it, he also managed to get his ex pregnant. Again, good job, but I'm sure that's all the red flags in the open now. Aside from that, I'm sure there's nothing to suggest he's using her or anything.
I've spent maybe like more than $20,000 on him.
Good job, you. First today, we're off to Lubbock, Texas, to see Quiana and Demodick. And Quiana is about to pick up her man. Along for the ride is her stepdad, G. Paul, the man who's been the male role model in her life.
I want G. Paul to come to Demodick's release because I don't want to have to drive by myself.
Oh yeah, and is available. So he'll do. But G. Paul probably deserves a medal for his services to anxiety as Quiana starts to get a bit excited.
This is for real. Like, he's really getting it out.
And now he's got to put up with this for the next 5 hours.
It's like, how is it gonna be? Like, I don't know. Yeah. And it's happening, so now I'm just like, oh my God.
But bless her though, she's excited to see her man. Quick recap, the same man who cheated on her twice with his ex that shall not be named. The one he put 2 babies in already. So what are the chances of Demodick repopulating Lubbock when he gets out? Higher than Flavor Flav at this year's Crack Con? Maybe they should cut his Lubbocks off. That'll save us a few bucks. But G-Paw is cautious about his approach.
I'll accept him as a good guy first. If he shows me he's a bad guy, I'm gonna treat him like a bad guy. And then I'm gonna really be in daddy mode.
What?
Daddy mode.
Deadpool?
Daddy mode.
Okay, so he's gonna be like Deadpool or something. I don't know. Good job. But G-Paw didn't earn his G by wearing polo shirts, you know? He's the realio dealio.
Here comes the G-Paw, ain't nothing to see, Paw, finna go and see, ha, man get out of P, yo, grab a man C, ha, who we finna be, yo, will he go and love her, or is he just a play, yo, here come the G-Paw.
One of the differences between how Quiana is handling her man's release and how other women have done it in the past is their preparation. Most people fling some petals about the place, gift new phones, cars, clothes, lube, but not Quiana. She's going to Demodrick's family to collect some of his stuff. Today on Storage Mullets.
Two tubs, 3 tubs. That's yours.
Yeah, I'll give you a fuck all for that, my friend. You can keep it. But Demodrick's dad, who looks like he was disturbed mid-shave, doesn't want his old crap anymore. But don't worry, moving fans. The sister is here to give everyone a hand with like a shoe. Then she helps even more by putting a clearly empty box into another empty box.
You got it? I'm good. I'm straight. Thank you.
Useful. Where would we be without you? Well, a shoe and a couple of empty boxes worse off, clearly. Maybe she'll be more used to doing a bit of talking to the camera.
I don't know if that relationship gonna work out.
But after all that hard work, she tragically gets a puncture and can't continue. Yeah, shame. Meanwhile, in the Lubbock's, Quiana is getting ready to go and meet Damodrick in the morning of his release.
I'ma try to be respectful, but that's my man, okay?
I think she probably meant respectable.
To be respectful, but
But still, we knew what she meant. Anyway, her and G-Paw get into position, and Quiana warms up her welcoming committees. The only thing about this approach, though, is that she's now waving her sign at pretty much anyone going past. But wait, look, is that him appearing in the distance? Quick, wave your sign.
Oh. Oh.
No, not him. No, sorry, false alarm. Next one will be him for sure. Like this one. This must be him. Quick, look excited. Oh, okay, well, maybe not then. Wait, what about... No, not that one either. Got to say, though, everyone who drove past probably had a lovely time looking at the crazy woman waving signs about. Probably cheered up their day. Good job, you. But that's all I have time for today, so we're going to have to find out what happens next in the next episode. Let's check in now with Quiana and Demodick the groomer. And today, Demodick is is showing us how to do employment. You find yourself on your way to your interview, and you're not quite sure what to do. Well, don't worry. Demodick here is here to give you a masterclass in employment. Step 1. Always wear a pair of glasses. You'll sound much more intelligent.
I've worked at warehouses most of my life.
Okay.
Matter of fact, right after college.
Yeah, college went well then. Step 2. Don't worry about switching off your phone. Impress your potential employer with a selection of your friends calling you.
That's my baby mama calling me.
okay.
Step 3. Don't be too enthusiastic. Let them think you've got better offers.
That sounds great.
Step 4. Don't forget to put on your good grey joggers and t-shirt. So, if you follow these steps, then you'll be swatting those jobs away with your big fat paycheck. Good job. Quick observation. How comes you got a child seat in the car? But I'm sure it'll all be fine because Demodick has his mind on the woman he truly loves.
Do you love Jamaica?
I'm moving on. It's a new beginning.
First on our magical mystery tour are Quiana and Demodick, and these lovebirds are having a nice romantic drive to the family do.
I'm sweating bullets, literally.
Thought I could smell aliens. They're en route to the home of Demodick's dad, Jerry, who looks like Shaq O'Neal got disturbed mid-shave. And Quiana awaits a gentleman to open her door. In a second.
What's up?
Okay, no, looks like he's not going to. I mean, what did she expect? Did she really think she'd landed a man gentlemanly enough to go so far as open the damn door for you? Yeah, I'd say stay in the car, which probably smells vaguely like beef and onions by now. So anyway, Quiana gives up and lets her own ass out of the car. If Demodick fails to treat this woman like royalty, I think there's someone else who might do.
Hey, Quiana cute today.
Good job, Shaq. He did add the word today, though, at the end. So, a little touch of the old backhand with that compliment, I think. Demodick, though, is full of the joys of freedom. Why not, huh? He might be creepy when he was younger, but who am I to take away his moment? He's been looking forward to all kinds of stuff.
Play with my family. I'm glad I'm finally out.
Playing with his family? Okay, what, like Lego or something? Maybe they're going to go cornholing. He's also looking forward to seeing his kids.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing my kids.
Blimey, what happened to that one's head? Looks like they had to crop it. Maybe he's got a dose of the old Hilton head. I like how the family call Uncle Dickhead Uncle D for short. His dad, though, he seems like a decent, warm, and kind of thoughtful guy. And it's good to see a half-decent male role model on the show.
You can't let it beat you down. You just have to pick up from where you at, man. Learn how to grill like me.
One of the reasons that Jezza can understand how Demodick feels is that he himself had been sent to prison in the past. One day he found himself being arrested because someone had snitched on him. Demodick, yes indeed, Demodick did.
I told my school that my dad smoked weed. And then, not too long after, my dad got raided, so I kind of felt like it was my fault as a kid.
Okay, so if it was legal in that stage at the time, then yes, he broke the laws. But when he found out it was Uncle Dickhead that did it, wow! Can you imagine that conversation? I do have to add, though, that if he was raided and sent to prison, then it may have been a bit more than just a little toot-toot on the old Mary Jane train. In Texas, up to 2 ounces or 56 grams is a Class B misdemeanor. You'll need more than 4 ounces or 112 grams, or the weight of a hamster, to make it a felony. So, naughty sausage. But wait, who's this?
Baby mama?
Ooh, we'll get back to that later on in the video. Back now to Quiana and Demodick, and baby mama has decided to turn up with a big old stirry spoon to get the pace going a bit. I wonder if his tattoo is for the James Brown or just, any old James Brown. Anyway, let's get on to how Demodick is stupid and messed up this whole thing. Number 1, the hug.
What's up, mama? Give me a hug. You been all right?
Yeah.
How the boys been?
They've been good.
First of all, you can keep those sweat patches to yourself, thanks Drippy. Secondly, who in their right mind would put their arms around the woman he cheated with multiple times and impregnated behind Quiana's back in front of Quiana? Who he couldn't even care enough about earlier to open the car door. And surprise, surprise, Quiana gets a little bit offended by that. But I don't think that Big Bad Sir is necessarily the problem. Demodick is the problem. Sir isn't exactly the sharpest tool in the shed. In fact, sharp might be a bit ambitious. More like those scissors you give to kids. They sort of cut paper but not yourself. But she doesn't come across like the villain of the story that they seem to be teasing. Yes, being an accessory to cheating is also as bad as cheating. But I think Demodick is leading her along because the money is better with Quiana. After all, it was his idea that she should come to the barbecue.
My daddy and them having a barbecue, man. I would love for you to bring the kids up there, you know what I mean?
And the more attention he gives her, the more Quiana is about to exhaust that fuse of hers.
Don't start that.
A little bit too much.
All right, don't start that.
Ah, love this face. They should get her to stand about reacting to stuff more often. And what is it with people picking their nose in this show? First off, has a good old rummage and then checks out the contents. Then we turn to this woman and we get a lovely zoom in. Delightful. But him...
Don't start that.
A little bit too much.
All right, don't start that.
Firstly, don't talk with your mouth full. It makes you look retarded. And have some damn respect, man. Maybe it's just me and the fact I was raised by the most gentlemanly gentleman to ever come out of Gentleman's Town. But if I was Quiana, I'd ditch this man straight away purely on the basis of his complete lack of class, manners, and civility. Please don't give this man your body, Quiana. Then Quiana, who does exhibit a little bit of class, poise, and civility, that we've seen at least, makes the smart choice to make a break and get some air away from the party.
You all right?
I'm good.
Oh, that's okay then. Yeah, thought for a second there might be an issue. Back to the party then, shall we? Bothering me? No, I don't know what you mean.
And she ain't bothering you, is she?
But I think Quiana almost had the balls to call his bluff.
Do me and her got anything going on?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm telling you right now. Do I?
Let's ask her.
She should have followed through. Go and confront her in public. That'd be great fun to watch, and I'd like to see him squirm. Also, he says, I'm telling you right now.
I'm telling you right now.
And instead of finishing the sentence, nothing is going on, he says,
Do I?
No, that was a question. I think he's just trying to not use the words that he'd have to try and explain later. It's a classic sign of a liar who thinks they're technically telling the truth, so therefore that's fine. If he doesn't deny it, then it's all in her mind, and he's not being at all deceptive.
You want to?
No.
Okay, shut up.
Oh, will she have it out with But is he the worst of the episode? Is there a man who could rival him for arsehole of the episode? Well, let's unwrap another card, shall we? It's Demodick. His previous performance includes cheating twice and impregnating his ex. And already the only person who was more surprised that these two are still together was her baby daddy, who didn't even know she was going on the show. Whoops. But clearly his activities have included less obvious red flags, such as the old arm grab.
Quiana, let me breathe, bro.
I do think it's a big red flag when he's using his force to stop you walking away. Okay, it's a harmless arm grab and it wasn't particularly forceful, but if the only strategy he has when he's not getting what he wants is to physically take it, then I'd be concerned about where the limits to his aggression were. Anyway, he also does terrible explanations, like when he said,
I'm telling you right now. Do I?
That explanation sounds suspiciously like a question.
Let's ask her.
You want to?
No.
Okay, shut up.
And again, aggressive towards her. Where's Shaving Shack, the dad? He's a good man. He needs to come over here and show his son how to do a bit of gentlemaning. But don't worry, reassurance fans, Demodick is reassuring everything.
I'm reassuring everything.
Yes, sort of, somehow, I don't know. Maybe I'll start doing it at some point. Later that evening, Demodick is spending some time with his dad, and there's something very warm about him.
The drama, huh?
It's real. How your mama would have acted.
How did this guy make this guy? Where did the whole disconnect happen? Maybe when Demodick grassed him up and he went to prison? But here he is now, giving Demodick the ring that his late wife had.
It's my big mama's.
Yeah.
This is where you make your promises.
Yes, indeed. He is giving Demodick something that represents his faith and trust that he will do the right thing by his woman and by his late mother. He's taking a symbol of the love and commitment that he had built and passing it on.
Make your promises as real as you want it to be.
Man, thank you.
And does Demodick get the significance?
I don't know if I'm ready to marry Quiana, but I do feel like I could give her this ring and it can make her feel a little more secure, and maybe she'll relax a little bit.
I think the production crew should confiscate that ring on general principle. And with all respect, Shaving Jack, you're an idiot. Women and sentiments mean nothing to this guy. A guy who's happy to use his dead mother's ring to try and pacify a woman who's got no intention of marrying is pretty damned low.
I'm over it. Let's just start again tomorrow.
Also, here's a prediction. Next time he gets in trouble for flying too close to the sun, he'll whip out that ring and point out how important it is, due to it being his dead mother's, and therefore how much of an indication it is that he loves her, and therefore should forgive him about whatever thing he just got in trouble for. She'll buy that bullshit because, she's always buying bullshit, and I mean she buys it wholesale from Easy Target. So, tired and disinterested, Quiana gives Demodick the most lackluster tour of an apartment. The one that she's probably feeling very silly for putting all the effort into decorating. But, seeing as it's been like a whole 5 minutes since they last argued, Demodick asks a silly question.
Welcome home. You still mad at me?
So, take that as a maybe. Demodick tries to put on the old smooth kissy moves, only to be given the cheek. But then she removes her underwear from the bed because he's not getting any of those kind of treats now, thank you very much, mister. She even gives him the back as they slip into bed. A bed that he then slips back out of later that night to call supposedly to organise some of that childcare they're really good at. And Demodick says the most truthful thing yet.
So, I have to lie to her and try to keep the peace.
So, is Demodick worthy of the a-hole of the episode? It's time to check in with Quiana and Demodick. And today, Quiana is taking a man for a date.
I just wanted to spend time with him and do something different, spice it up a bit.
Oh, well, there you go. You think you want to spice it up, and the first thing you think of is cake making. Yes, well, that's dangerously exciting. Anyway, these two are probably going to go all 9.5 weeks with it later anyway. Ugh, messy. But it's a good job old Professor Cakes over here is around to talk them through the difficult steps.
We're going to start with unwrapping our cake. Put your cake on your board.
Oh, slow down there, Gordon Blimey. Demodick over here's got to keep up, but he's busy with some weak-ass flirting games.
Wait, God.
I ain't gonna do it to you.
I'm about to cry.
Yeah, we so fun and relatable. Cringingly transparent. I noticed he didn't manage to put his icing on Quiana's cake, but managed to ice his cake twice. Anyway, while we're here and they're talking nonsense, let's see who does cake the best. And to do so, we'll have a game called Is It Cack? So, buckle up and let's get to business. Got to say, Quiana's initial icing application is a bit of a car crash there, but Demodick looks like he's got some sort of consistent coverage going on, garnished with a single blue ball. Other kitchen things that sound bad with blue at the front include cheese and waffles. He's going for a fairly smooth finish there, surprisingly actually not bad, and has his sort of, ribbed for her pleasure. So, what's the result? Well, I've got to say Demodick's is neater and pretty much well presented. And Quiana's sort of made a right old mess, really. Tried to hide the crappy bits by sticking some text over it. I think I'm going to give it to old Demodick, Good job. But that's not the only surprise. Demodick's got one more for her.
Kinda did this before, but...
If it's his penis poking through the box, I am leaving. Yeah, I know. What the fuck is that? A light bulb? Sort of? A heart person? Oh, no, look, he's got stuck his mother's ring in it. Will she accept? Caught in a landslide this week are Quiana and Demodick. And you may remember, last time we saw them, Demodick presented Quiana with a ring in a cake. And he even seemed to take himself by surprise with that one.
Oh my God.
I'm trying not to cry.
And thank you to the beautiful people in the comments who taught me that a big mama is a grandmother or a matriarch, not his mother. See, every day's a school day here at the manor. Here's a quick quiz called, What does Demodick do? Now, he's got a ring covered in icing, and presumably he's going to transfer said ring to Quiana's finger. So, what's his icing removal strategy? Here are your options. Will he A, wipe it nicely with a napkin? Is it B, pop it in his mouth, suck it off, and put a slightly spitty ring on her finger? Or will he just give it to her to sort out? Or D, Will he just go ahead and stick it on and it'll be fine? I mean, it's a lottery if a person even finds the right finger in this show. And hopefully someone's briefed him, or her finger will be up his nose and the ring will be up his butt. So, what does the Demodick do?
The icing out for that for me.
Grandmari. Apart from Troy's sweaty little pocket, where has that ring been? Does it taste like mothballs and lily of the valley? Yummy! So he went with what could be a romantic gesture of feeding her. But let's face it, he didn't have a napkin, he didn't want to put that old lady ring in his mouth, so the only option he did have was to stick it in her mouth and pretend like you're being seductive or something. Look, there's even a hair on it. Whose hair and from what part of the body does that originate? Proposals and pubes. See, my titles do make some sort of sense sometimes. Anyway, while he's just getting started, let's go grab our scorecards. And watch as Troy does the proposing bit, complete with rousing speech. Did Demodick do good?
I done made promises before, but today I'm gonna make a promise to be with you forever.
Always a bit of a dodgy start though, that one, isn't it? It just sounds like you said, and this time I really mean it. And now is forever, and the last time I told you forever, well, that wasn't quite as forever-y as this one. This one's like the real forever ever. Well, you know, until the next time he has to say it.
We done been through ups and downs, smiles and frowns.
You better be playing.
But this is the one.
Which I thought was kind of sweet, actually. I thought it actually found a little bit of creativity. Until I noticed then, of course, it's a Snoop Dogg lyric from the song Ups and Downs.
There will be ups and downs, smiles and frowns.
Anyway, back to the proposal of the year.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Okay, so here's my little suspicious mind at work. Did you notice something missing for the proposal? Granted, I've edited out the dead space, but you've seen what there is to see. But have you caught in the built-in get out? He, of course, at no point asked her to marry him. He just gave her the ring, she ingested a bunch of pocket lint, and he says it's meant love forever this time. So, if he was being picky, like some of these cheatery types do, he could say, yeah, but I never actually asked you, therefore we're never actually engaged, therefore I can leave you on a technicality, and oops, my penis fell in again. And while he's busy stabbing her in the back with his intentions, she's busy stabbing him in the back with a fork. So what would you rate our Demodick's attempt out of 10? Was it better than Will and Courtney's rainy Christmas tree? Personally, I'd give it about a 2 out of 10, based purely on the grounds that I think that whilst this is pretty crap, I don't think we've seen the worst of the worst yet. Plus 0 points for location, but I wonder what location it is. Must be quite easy to find out where it was by finding this lady, Martha of Sweet Creation by Martha, located here in Lubbock. Logo's a bit off centre. Just saying. Weird at this delightful building site across the road. Romantic. But they actually proposed just up the road here. See, the little logs they sat on, and the funky building across the road. Let me know what you'd score him in the comments. Also, is he a little bit short, or is Quiana a little bit tall? So, after the amazing proposal, it's off for dessert.
Now let's eat the cake.
Unless you want hairballs, I think I'd leave it in the box, thanks.
You know that's all I'm gonna be doing.
Oh my God.
But I don't know about you, but that ring will now always be Granny's pube ring. You can also see the difference in how they respect each other. Demodick just stuck it in her mouth for a quick rinse. Then she uses a fork and does the whole handy chinny mess catcher thing, like he's 5. See? Moderately thoughtful.
I like mine better.
Don't talk with your mouth full, darling. But it turns out I wasn't the only one who noticed the omission earlier.
Why didn't you say the words, will you marry me?
What's his response?
Because I feel like right now this is more of a promise that we will get married.
I see. It's not a proposal that means he'll get married one day. It's a ring that says he'll get married one day. I think he's trying not to say the words it's a promise ring without calling it a promise ring. Because, as we know, he's very literal about what he says. And kind of tells her without telling her.
This is a promise for us to be together forever, all right?
First into the pits today are Quiana and Demodick, and it's here in this quiet suburban setting that we find them today. It's just another fairy tale day. The birds are singing, the flowers are, holding on for dear life. Quiana's getting ready for work, and Demodick's playing with himself in the bedroom.
All right, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Love you too.
What does a Demodick even do? He mumbled something about a warehouse once, but you wouldn't want this genius using any heavy machinery, would you? Judging by the state of the car, it's about 50-50 that you're going to arrive in one piece. So, apparently it's time for work.
Have a good day at work.
I will.
And he leaps into the Demodick mobile. Whoa, she's a beaut. It's got Mustang written on it, but other than that, I don't know what I'm looking at. But luckily, my new friends over at the Mustang Club told me it's the SN95, worth about $1.5 grand. And you've gotta love this guy. Love After Lockup, lol. Good man, top marks to him. How the hell did he know though? Anyway, I love the unique paneling that he's got there, and how the wing mirror and door shake when he slams the door. And the way the ceiling has mostly given up on the interior. And check out those tires. Yeah, we didn't need any grip on those anyway. It seems to be sort of falling apart a bit, but yeah, I think I'll walk, thanks. A bit meaning to get those steps in. Even the dog, or, whatever that is. Can't believe that shit heap moves without a winch. I bet it left half a ton of oil and a few nuts and bolts behind when it pulled away. Anyway, to work. Oh, yeah, hold on a second. Do you need to push, Demodick? Oh, no, here we go. Watch out, everyone. Might want to move out the way a bit. So, how many violations did Demodick manage in a 5-second cutaway? Was it 1, 2, or 3? Well, in Texas, you should be wearing a seatbelt, so that's 1. And then he blew through 2 stop signs. This one he even did without looking to his left at all. Good job, you. I would say that he was probably speeding too, but yeah. The only way you'd get this marvel of engineering above 30 miles an hour would be if you dropped it out of a plane. Meanwhile, Quiana was also at work in the salon.
Hey, how are you? Good, how are you?
And it'd be terribly remiss of me if I was to not also tell you that it's the Sweet 7 salon here on 50th Street, right next to Boost Mobile. Anyway, boss lady has noticed something different about Quiana.
What is that on your finger?
I think it's a pube or like a hair or something. I don't really know. We were talking about that last time. Grandma's pube ring.
It's an engagement ring.
Yeah, no, it's not though, is it? That is a promise ring. He didn't give you his heart, he gave you a rain check and a pube. Granted, the pube did come with cake, a bit like Ashley, except the pube wanted to eat her cake. Ooh, and have you noticed that Quiana speaks beautifully rhythmically?
What? We had a little date.
Just chuck a little beat behind her to get a fun little song about cake.
What? We had a little date and we made like cakes or whatever. What? We had a little date and we made like cakes or whatever.
And so Quiana breaks the tragic news that everybody was dreading to hear.
And he asked me to marry him.
I love how she gave it the little upwards inflection.
Me to marry him.
Marry him? At the end. Like, woohoo and stuff. And with a face like that, meaning that tells us she's thrilled to bits about the granny pube ring marriage or has mild constipation. The people at her work are definitely not Demodick fans though, but combine that with the fact that it might not have been quite the fairy tale she hoped for, this is a tough one to sell to them.
Did he get on his knee?
What do you mean, let me think. What, as in, which one of the delightful romantic gestures did he perform? A knee? An actual proposal? Oh no, wait, yes, you were sitting on a log, and he stuffed the ring in your mouth and then stuffed it on your finger. He was sitting down. He was right next to his knee. Could have just slipped his little butt off there and ta-da! Prime knee positioning. Again, though, it was the correct finger, which does elevate him above past performances from people such as Derek, who didn't even get that bit right. And the location was pretty stupid too. If you can't give material things, then at least give an unforgettable experience. Location, for example. I think that's almost as important as the ring. There they were, here on Broadway Street. Marsha's Cookery Place right here. Then the delightful building site across the road. Not ideal. But down here we've got the actual place he proposed, which is a lovely little car park for scenery. Blimey, look at this amazingness. Wow, why does it look so small? Looks like a little matchbox Porsche. He could have at least made a bit of effort with the location. Just go around the corner and, there's this place. That'll look way better. Or just go south a couple of blocks, the Municipal Gardens and Art Centre. It's got like flowers and rocks and stuff. Bit nicer than a car park.
Let me see.
That is so funny.
It is cute, girl.
That's cheap, girl. No way that rock is anything special, really, is it? You beautiful people and I were talking in the comments, and we were wondering if this was the same ring he was given. And yes, I have just checked. And yes, it does look about the same. I did wonder if he'd pawn the original and I'd get her a cheap one just for the cameras. But while we all gather around to admire our new hardware, we catch up with Demodick as he makes it into work too.
Daddy! What's up, my boy?
Daddy.
Well, that workplace looks a lot like Jawalia's place. Yes, indeed. Demodick, in all his wisdom, has decided to see baby mama behind Quiana's back. Right there with the film crew, so she'll sit. But to make sure she doesn't give Demodick the wrong idea, and he doesn't give her a fourth child, Jawalia's gone for a nice conservative outfit.
What's up, Mom? How you doing?
Boys back then.
In the back.
Blimey, I think I just saw what you had for lunch. Flapjacks, apparently. Does anybody own a bra in the show? But Jawalia here is quite interesting. Jawalia Lene, or Walia Lene Brown, as she's also known, or her little company, Just Beauty Cosmetics. She's an influencer, apparently, and an entrepreneur. I guess entrepreneur now means I buy a load of tat from China and have them print my logo on it. Thing is with that, you then have to order a minimum quantity of units. So idiots, business people like her, then get lumbered with a shed load of stock that nobody wants. Speaking of which, I do wonder if Mills managed to shift all those trainers with the copyright infringement on them. Anyway, back to JAWALIA's money making. She also appears to be making some money in this video here. That's an interesting video. $25. Fancy. But what are we getting for our $25? Well, apparently, it's what a bad booty does. Well, whatever she's up to, it involves wearing very little clothes, her booty, and taking cash. Still, it's cheaper than those video girls that Julius was hanging out with. Oh, yeah, it's gotta hurt. Although I suppose she's only got half the booty the video girl had, so maybe that's about right. So, back to Demodick.
Sometimes I feel like I'm living two lives.
Nope, you're living one life badly. That's what that is. Why does he make out like he's a victim of circumstance? Like it's life's fault that he can't see any long-term value in JAWALIA and likes the stability of life with Quiana. That way, of course, he doesn't have to get too hurt when she's out making $25.
JAWALIA is my baby mama. She took care of my kids and made sure they were good. They're still alive.
Alive, yes. That's always a good thing, that. Got to say, that's kind of the minimum we'd expect, really. But it's not all new-coloured bodysuits and passive flatting. Demodick's got to drop the news of his recent engagement to Quiana.
I did want to tell you something.
What's that?
Soma, they got a lovely sale on. You can get 3 bras for $39. That's still cheaper than Julius's video girl. So, just saying.
I basically, got engaged to Quiana.
Man, that's the blow in the kitchen that nobody wanted. But she's not fooled. She doesn't believe for a second that Demodick will marry Quiana.
Hell no. Because I know DAMODRIck, so I don't, if they do, she gonna be dealing with some stuff, so.
And I love the way that he's allowed to totally move on. But if she wants to try it...
So it'll be cool if I just move on with my life.
He makes a noise like a mechanic giving a quote.
I current,
Quiana and Demodick. And today we're diving straight into conflict as Quiana reveals she read Demodick's messages and had her suspicions confirmed. Even goes so far as to remove the granny pube ring.
I definitely was just chilling. We just had a conversation, nothing went on.
Just a conversation. Yeah, sure, it's like saying World War II was just a slight disagreement. He was only telling her what he wanted to do. He wasn't actually doing the things he wanted to do. An excuse that only him and the people who meet Chris Hansen think is a good idea.
I'm Chris Hansen. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Please.
I wonder if he has to pay the $20 for JAWALIA's booty. Or maybe he'd get a discount. But JAWALIA's butt isn't on his mind. Wouldn't take up much space if it was. He's got a new mission.
Just trying to figure out what I need to do to get Quiana back.
I imagine it'd be something which involves a very sharp pair of scissors and the window of a moving car.
Found some sexy texts to his baby mama. You gonna be mad. I started my period.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good thing, isn't it? That means he's failed to impregnate her for the 3rd time. So generally, we can all count that as a win for the public. So, what's Quiana's solution? She's free of him now, isn't she?
Every time I go in that bitch is something.
Well, that means it's time to take a break.
And that's where we are.
A break, yes, of course. That seems to be the fix-all for the couples this season. That her friend here, whose glasses and nose clearly don't get on very well, thinks that a bit of distance will make it all better. A theory that Demodick is trying out.
I'm trying to see if I can pull up on you and talk to you.
You talk about what?
So he pulls up, hoping this little indiscretion, and maybe all those other little indiscretions he's had recently, have all floated away in a magical break bubble. And if he plays his cards right, maybe he'll be picking up his underwear from her bedroom floor by the evening time.
You wanna play this game?
I ain't trying to play no game. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, I guess he was sort of halfway there. He was picking his underwear up off her floor, except he wasn't expecting it to be launched at him beforehand. She even went with the headshot with this fluorescent number. God, that was close. Try throwing a shoe. Someone go give her a shoe.
Cheated on the get
Is that the end for Quiana and Demodick? Now, she's clearly not a ninja with the nylons quite like Quiana, who is currently giving a lesson in the correct way to deal with a cheating, lying scumbag. First tip, when throwing multiple items of clothing, use 2 hands to ensure the cluster stays together longer.
Give a what they are. Do you know how much money I put in your books?
Oh, no, not the PS5. Yeah, the PS5. Heave that bastard down the road. Yeah, Quiana, Quiana. But my sympathy takes a bit of a dive as they start to do some actual talking. And it appears that they both think the other person started it.
Because when I was gone, I gave you all my trust.
Yes, indeed. What she's not so keen on bringing up is the fact that when he went into solitary, she found he was texting Jawalia.
While Demodick was in the shoe, because I found out that he was texting his baby mama.
She gives us a look like, well, obviously that's reasonable. Like, obviously I cheated him, what else would you do? Well, leave would be my first thought, but, seeing as love is some sort of endurance race, apparently, that didn't happen. But in her mind, she didn't cheat.
I did have a slip-up.
Oh, yeah, she slipped up, but, he was cheating. Even though the outcome was largely the same, from what I can see, his was words first, and she was actions first. And that's totally not a toxic way of going about things.
So, I saw he was entertaining someone, so I started entertaining someone.
Which is kind of crazy, because she talks all good, strong words and candor.
You don't have that situation taken care of, so how can you start a situation with me?
But then totally undermines herself by falling for the guy she's been falling for the last 10 years. But luckily though, she has seen the light at the end of the tunnel of trauma and is chucking his ass out.
Enjoy your evening.
Don't let the door hit you when the good Lord split ya, I believe the saying is. And as Demodick jumpstarts his shit heap and limps off down the road.
Not proud of it.
He's talking about his relationship, not the car, by the way.
There's definitely some regrets there.
Probably the most honest thing he's ever said. And what of Quiana? Does she have some parting words of wisdom as we say goodbye to them?
I feel like a fool, I feel embarrassed, I feel betrayed, I feel dumb.
Yep, most likely. Sorry, was I supposed to give a balanced and thoughtful summary? Tell her it's not her fault and dust off and off a life lesson from the ashes of a failed relationship? Well, I'll just go ahead and let her do that bit. Well said. Thank you again so much for watching and for all your delightful comments. I appreciate you very much.
So if you enjoy what I do, then please do like, subscribe, and try one of these delightful offerings. So until we meet again, stay beautiful, love to my three, and you take care of yourself.
Please subscribe now for our flag. Thank you.